Howdy there. Here to talk about Kick-Ass. Second time I've seen the movie. Saw it in the theater. Knew that I liked it. Gave it a 7 in my original review. Knew that I would want to rent it very quickly as soon as it came out. It came out this week. I rented it. Still enjoyed it. Still giving it a 7. Really can't convince myself to give it anything else. It's about a teenage kid who wonders why no one has ever been a superhero before, and takes that idea and runs with it. Becomes a superhero, gets mixed up with other superheroes and mafia bosses and possibly supervillains. So it's pretty much a satire of the superhero story, and maybe a little bit more now the superhero film. It's based off a graphic novel, perhaps a series, I'm not entirely sure, by Mark Millar and John Romita Jr.? Senior? I can't remember. I may not be right with that. Romita. Anywho, it's a Mark Millar comic book, needless to say. Adapted pretty well. I've never read the Kick-Ass story all the way through the book. I've seen some of it. Remains pretty faithful, at least, to the spirit of it. The film stars Aaron Johnson, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Mark Strong, Chloe Grace Moretz, and Nicolas Cage. The two highlights of the film are the last two names I read there. Chloe Grace Moretz, who plays Hit Girl, a very violent, vulgar, 12-year-old? She's awesome in this movie. She probably has the hardest role. She's got to do a lot, physically and emotionally. Though everyone has a lot to do emotionally with this story. The best scenes in the movie, at least the action scenes, are of her. I mean, really, she has the action scenes. She's awesome. She's got a great character. She's a highlight of the film. The other highlight is, of course, Nicolas Cage. He plays Big Daddy, Hit Girl's father, bent on revenge. Wants to take down the mafia boss that's running the town, and who personally wronged him. Nicolas Cage is amazing in this movie. When he is on the screen, it feels like a different movie. He elevates it. Nicolas Cage is always good. You know, sometimes he's in shit movies and doesn't really get to do the things that Nicolas Cage is great at, but he gets to do a lot of things here that Nicolas Cage is great at, and he delivers. Again, he pops off the screen, and he's the best part of the movie. He's the best part of the movie. A great performance. Certainly stacks up against his other great work. And that's maybe the source of the reason I'm not giving it a higher score. When Nicolas Cage is on the screen, it feels like a different movie. Maybe that's just his power, his star power, his charisma, but something, it just feels different. The rest of the cast is relative unknowns. I suppose Christopher Mintz-Plasse has had a lot of work recently, but again, relative unknowns except for Nicolas Cage, and maybe that's a part of it, but also I think the first hour of the film feels totally different than the second hour of the film. And I think it's that they set up all these great characters and pay so much close attention to character detail in the first hour. You get this great character piece, and then the last 45 minutes, 50 minutes is the denouement, all the climax, all the action, all the special effects, and it just felt a little uneven to me. I wanted it. Again, the first hour is really strong, better than the second half, and I just thought it fell more into relying on fight choreography and special effects and action than it did character, which obviously it's going to happen, but make it. I wouldn't have minded the movie to be a little bit longer, 2 hours 15 minutes maybe. I mean, dedicate a little bit more to the character. Again, good movie. Don't get me wrong, it's a 7. 7's a great movie. Love 7s. Many movies in my collection I would call a 7. But I don't think it's the greatest thing ever. And some people, again, repeatedly tell me that it's the greatest thing ever. Just as they did with Zombieland. And again, Zombieland, good movie. Not a great movie. Trying to think of anything else. Oh, written by Jane Goldman and Matthew Vaughn, and directed by Matthew Vaughn as well, and very well. He's a good director. Again, I thought it was well shot. I thought everything made it for a great story. Again, I just felt the first hour I was pulled in, sucked in, and so I was in their world. And again, for like the last 45 minutes, maybe the last 30 minutes to be more accurate, I felt that, so I got invited to this great party, and now I'm being kind of ignored, I don't know if that helps at all. I think that kind of really sums up how I feel about it. But still awesome satire of comic books and comic book movies and the story, superhero phenom. So if you're a comic book guy, girl, definitely check it out. If you're a fan of action, check it out. If you're a fan of vulgarity, check it out. Basically, check it out. Again, to the people who say that it's the best thing ever, I'll say, yeah, go ahead and have it. You can think it's the best thing ever. Is it the best thing ever? No. But it is really good. And Nicolas Cage is awesome. So if you're a Nicolas Cage fan, rent it yesterday. So that is Kick-Ass. Really can't think of anything more to say other than it's a solid 7. And will obviously be admired for some time to come. Thank you.